Good morning. Hey, all my friends out there. No, I'm not called to walk on the golf courses of the world. I'm just simply out for some exercise near my house. I live on a golf course. Hey, there were 20 young men that were called one time to become the USA representatives on a team that was being formed for the Olympic hockey team in 1980 in Lake Placid, New York. Now, these men, it turned out, they weren't the best players, and the coach was kind of vilified by saying, "Why didn't you pick some of the ones that had better talent?" And he said to them, "You know, I'm choosing a team. I'm not trying to showcase talent. We want to win at the Olympics." And those teams were like young kids. They were like the average age of 21 years of age. And yet they went in there, and at the end they won the whole thing. They beat the Russians, who hadn't lost like in 40-something games. They were told they were unbeatable, and they beat them. What the coach did was something quite unusual. What he did was he started talking to the kids early on, and he said to them, "Hey, what's your name, and where do you come from, and what team do you play for?" And they would all answer him, and they kept doing this practice after practice. To one day, one of the kids says, "My name is so-and-so. I live in Minnesota, and my team is the United States of America." That's what he wanted. He wanted a team. You know, all through life, that's what I found. If I want to succeed, I've got to be part of a team. I've spent the better part of 3 decades being part of companies going all over the world, and teams were the center of it all. One of the team members always had to be the visionary. He was the guy who could see the thing, the long range, the end result of it all. Then there was always the guy who could sort of make it, design it. He could figure out how to make it work. He was the engineer. Then there was a guy, I called him the logistics. He kind of pulled everybody together like in a family, and then you made everything work, and everybody knew each other. He was the guy who made that happen. And then finally there was the guy whose job was to go out and talk to the public and share what we've done so that they could see the results and buy into it. He was the salesman. So there we had the offices that we had to have for a successful project in a business world. Now that I'm retired and I'm looking at life from the one end, looking back into my younger years, I see success as a different thing. I mean, we want to become somebody that is meaningful in life, and not just someone who just traveled the world on business. And so I've spent the last year or more really getting closer to God. And I find that God's ways are kind of the same ways as the ways of the team. You know, instead of having that the guy, the visionary, he has the prophet. And instead of the engineer who kind of figures out how to do it, he has the teacher who teaches. And then instead of the logistics guy, he has a pastor. And instead of the salesman, he has the evangelist. All of these people play an integral part in really sharing the Word of God with people. And so I come to you today to tell you that people are called to these various offices, but we're all called in one way or another, every single one of us, whether we like it or not. God has called us. And so if you want to be part of life and part of success in life, then you've got to understand your call. Now, God, He knew us before the beginning of time. He called us before the beginning of time. He knows who we are, and He knows what we're going to do. And so if you're worried about it, I'm looking directly at Nicole right now. Nicole, if you're worried about where your call is, don't. Because God already knows. If you aspire to something, do it. God is with you, and He'll increase that, and that will become your calling. Because God has made it so through your aspirations and your desires and your love of Him. And so today, my friends, if you're called to be an engineer, be an engineer. If you're called to be a homemaker, be a homemaker. If you're called to be a teacher, be a teacher. But by all means, do something. Don't miss the call on your life. This is a glorious time to be alive. This is a wonderful time to just share with others who you are and who we are in the living God. We love you. I love you. See you next week. Bye for now.